Good morning, and welcome to New Hanover County Schools, The Morning Show. I'm Trevor Kerrigan.
And I'm Maggie Caudle. This is the week of March 28th through April 3rd.
We have a superb show in store for you today, which will entertain and educate.
Spring is here, and most of us are happy to welcome the warmer weather and longer days. Today, we'll test your knowledge of all things spring in a fun morning show trivia challenge.
In our newly popular and always interesting segment, Science Nation, learn about one of the latest stories from the world of science and how our lives can be affected.
And we take a look ahead and see the top events across the state planned during the month of April in our fantastic segment, NC Happenings.
It's going to be another great show, but first, let's check in with our news anchor, Corey Dembo, who is standing by with the Your School News headlines. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, Trevor and Maggie, and welcome everyone to Your School News here on The Morning Show. Topping the headlines this week, school system hosts 2016 Legislative Luncheon, Finance Division awarded the Certificate of Achievement, Azalea Festival Children's Art Contest Award ceremony is held. I will have all those stories and more coming up later in the show.
Thanks, Corey. We get things going today with a staple here on The Morning Show we call This Week in History. Our Grand Master of Historical Knowledge has all the headlines from past times in This Week in History, brought to you by Kidsville News.
Welcome to This Week in History. I'm your historical host, Samantha Klein, covering all of the colorful and amazing events that have left their mark on history's timeline. This is the week of March 28th through April 3rd. March 28th, 1939. The victorious nationalists entered Madrid in triumph, and the Spanish Civil War came to an end. Up to 1 million lives were lost in the conflict, the most devastating in Spanish history. March 29th, 1974. The unmanned U.S. space probe Mariner 10, launched by NASA in November 1973, becomes the first spacecraft to visit the planet Mercury, sending back close-up images of the celestial body, usually obscured because of its proximity to the Sun. March 30th, 1870. Following its ratification, the 15th Amendment, granting African American men the right to vote, is formally adopted into the U.S. Constitution. The amendment reads, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude." March 31st, 1973. The Mississippi River reaches its peak level in St. Louis during a record 77-day flood. During the extended flood, 33 people died and more than $1 billion in damages were incurred. The roots of the flood go back to October 1972, when above-average rain began falling in the river basins that feed the Mississippi River. April 1st, 1700. English pranksters begin popularizing the annual tradition of April Fool's Day by playing practical jokes on each other. Although the day, also called All Fool's Day, has been celebrated for several centuries by different cultures, its exact origins remains a mystery. Finally, your weekend history tidbits. April 2nd, 1805. Hans Christian Andersen, one of the world's greatest storytellers, is born in Denmark. His stories include The Ugly Duckling, The Little Mermaid, and The Emperor's New Clothes. April 3rd, 1948. President Harry S. Truman signs off on legislation establishing the Foreign Assistance Act of 1948, more popularly known as the Marshall Plan. The act eventually provided over $12 billion of assistance to aid in the economic recovery of Western Europe. That's This Week in History, your ultimate source for those key moments in time. I'm Samantha Klein. Thanks for stopping by.
This Week in History is brought to you by Kidsville News, a fun and effective learning resource for children, teachers, and parents. Kidsville News is always free. Copies are delivered every month to every elementary school in the New Hanover County school system.
And join us again next time for another journey through time as we explore the fun, fascinating, entertaining, and educational facts that make up This Week in History.
We have plenty more of the morning show ahead, including the Zoo Files and our Super Civic segment, Bell Ringers.
Don't go away. We'll be right back after this short break.
Women acting together, embracing reality. We get together and we talk about our lives and everything that surrounds us. Drugs surround me. I know people who bring drugs to school because people aren't happy. I love art. I play guitar. I love Dave Matthews. I love so many other things. I have no need to love drugs.
Welcome back to The Morning Show. I'm Trevor Kerrigan.
And I'm Maggie Caudill.
Every spring, an event takes place here in our town that brings in visitors from across the state and the country. The North Carolina Azalea Festival.
Not only should people visiting from out of town enjoy this wonderful event, but everyone who lives here should not miss out.
To get everyone excited about the festival, we have a special episode of Destinations, where instead of traveling across the world, we visit Wilmington and learn about the enjoyable events of the Azalea Festival.
Welcome to Destinations. Here we travel the world showing you the best vacation spots you don't want to miss. This week, instead of packing our bags for some far-off destination, we remind ourselves that sometimes there's no place like home. Wilmington, North Carolina is a town packed with things to do all year round. But if you want to visit or just spend a week vacationing in your hometown, there is one week that stands out above them all. The week of the Azalea Festival. Start your Azalea Festival experience off on the water. Visiting ships dock all along the Cape Fear River downtown, and many have displays and tours available. After you've gotten your feet wet with the ship tour, jump right into the festival and head to the street fair. With over 200 arts and crafts vendors, 40 food vendors, 4 stages of entertainment, and a children's area, there is something for everyone here. While you munch on freshly made funnel cakes, relax at one of the stages, which will include music, dancing, and multicultural entertainment, all of which are family friendly. Once you've had enough shopping and entertainment, go on some of the festival's relaxing tours. The festival is named after the azalea, and you can see plenty of them in bloom during a tour of the Cape Fear Garden Club's Azalea Gardens. If you need some indoor time out of the sun, you can take the historic home tour and see some of the area's oldest and most famous homes. The highlight and biggest event of the Azalea Festival is the parade. Join over 500,000 people and enjoy the show. With floats and marching bands, clowns, horses, celebrities, and much, much more, the parade is always an enjoyable event. It ends in a grand finale with the Azalea Queen, her court, and the Azalea Princess. Each year, the festival attracts big-time popular musicians who headline main concerts. These entertainers are acts you don't normally get to see here in Wilmington, and shows that no one will want to miss. The Azalea Festival is packed with so many fun and entertaining things to do, it will make any vacation one the whole family will enjoy. And best of all, it's right here in town.
If you would like to learn more about the Azalea Festival, visit their website at ncazaleafestival.org. There you can find out all the details of the many events and plan your adventures.
All right, it's time now to send it over to the news desk for more Your School News and our news anchor, Corey Dembo, who's standing by. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning and welcome to Your School News on The Morning Show. I'm Corey Dembo. Topping our newscast this week is the 2016 Legislative Luncheon. The New Hanover County Board of Education and New Hanover County Schools Superintendent Dr. Tim Markley hosted the luncheon for state and local elected officials. YSN reporter Bobby Blue has the details.
For the 5th year, New Hanover County Schools held its annual Legislative Luncheon. The event provides the superintendents and members of the school system a chance to speak one-on-one about their concerns with many of our state and local representatives.
It's important for our elected officials to sit down and talk to the folks who are in the schools every day so they've got an idea of what is happening. These are the folks who make decisions about what happens. And so an event like this helps break down some of those barriers.
On hand at this year's event were Representatives Ted Davis and Susie Hamilton, County Commissioners Jonathan Barfield, Beth Dawson, and Rod Zappel, as well as other area law enforcement and community leaders. New Hanover County Schools Teacher of the Year, Katie Snyder, shared ways she felt legislators could support educators. In a passionate speech, she talked about the negative attitudes the public has begun to express toward teachers and public education. She focused on a real need to change the message to one of positive enforcement about teaching and schools. Dr. Markley thanked the county commissioners for their support of public education and the recent support of the education bond. He also thanked legislators for funding teachers' salary increases and continuing to fund drivers' education. He did ask for more flexibility in the school calendars. Dr. Markley opened the floor to the visiting legislators. Both Representatives Davis and Hamilton told the gathering they would both do everything in their power to help K-12 education in New Hanover County.
Well, we learn a whole lot about what the needs are within our own school systems at our local level. So it makes a huge difference when people are so forthcoming about what their expectations are of the legislature. And the timing of the event is perfect as well because we're getting ready to go back into the short session in a month. So this is really the perfect time for these conversations to take place, and they're wildly successful and helpful to us, I think.
Board of Education Chairman Don Hayes closed the meeting by telling the gathering that this event has provided some of the most positive feedback and partnership between the school system and its locally elected officials. Reporting for Your School News, this is Bobby Blue.
New Hanover County Schools Finance Division, led by the Chief Financial Officer Mary Hazel Small, has been awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting by the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada for its comprehensive annual financial report. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. The New Hanover County Board of Education approves the appointment of 4 new administrators for the school system. Alan O'Brien has been appointed as the Director of Secondary Education for the NHCS Instructional Services Division. Mr. O'Brien will finish out the 2015-2016 academic school year at Laney High School. The district will begin the search for a new principal to lead the school. Leanne Lampley has been appointed as principal for the new international school at Gregory. Leanne Lampley is currently the principal of West End Elementary School, a Spanish dual immersion school. Diego Lahaki has been appointed as principal for Sunset Park Elementary School. Mr. Lahaki is currently serving as the principal of Penderley School in Pender County. And Julie Moore has been appointed as the Risk Management Supervisor for the Student Support Services Division. Ms. Moore is currently serving as the Workers' Compensation Benefit Specialist with NHCS. For all of the latest on New Hanover County Schools, join us weekdays at 5:30 p.m. here on Time Warner Cable 5 and Charter Cable 191 for your school news. A complete half hour of all the latest news and information from New Hanover County Schools. Now back to our hosts.
Thanks, Corey. In addition to watching Your School News in the Morning Show, you can see many of NHCS TV's programs online.
Just go to the school system's website at www.nhcs.net and click on the NHCS TV logo right there on the front page.
You can watch great programs there like the Sports Roundtable, the Forum, and Up Front with the Superintendent.
It's an excellent way to watch our programming whenever you want.
Shifting gears now, we have everyone's favorite segment from the North Carolina Zoo at Asheboro. The Zoo Files tells us all about the different animals, exhibits, and happenings at the zoo.
One of the most common questions we get from visitors here at the North Carolina Zoo is, where do all your animals come from? And many are surprised to learn that more than 90% of the animals they see come from other zoos. While the old B-movie stereotype of hunters leading safaris into Africa to bring them back alive for zoos might have been the case in the 18th and 19th centuries, it's certainly not the situation today. Zoo General Curator Ken Reininger explains how modern zoos have evolved from animal consumers to animal conservers.
Well, for at least the last 15 or 20 years, most of the animals that come to the North Carolina Zoo come from other members of the accredited Zoo Association. 2 of our black bears, both of our grizzly bears, 1 of our polar bears, a number of the birds in the Sonora Desert exhibit were all rescue animals. Well, of course, if we are going to not take animals from the wild on a whole-scale basis, and we're going to be sustainable, if we're going to have animals for generations to come, we're going to have to carefully manage them with each other. These are small populations. If they're not carefully managed, you can get into problems with genetics. We need to know each and every animal, its history, its parents, so that we can sustainably manage these. If we do that the right way, we will have animals for our visitors to see that will help us convey these messages about sustainability for generations to come without taking them from the wild.
While utilizing and managing captive populations and working to save wild populations as well, modern zoos have become the standard bearers for wildlife conservation efforts around the world. If you'd like to learn more, please check out the Association of Zoos and Aquariums website at aza.org. I'm Rod Hackney reporting for the Zoo Files, connecting your life to wildlife.
The North Carolina Zoo near Asheboro is open year-round. For information, call 1-800-488-0444 or visit the zoo website at www.nczoo.org.
That was another excellent edition of the Zoo Files. Thank you, Rod.
From zoo news to science news, we're always thrilled to bring you the National Science Foundation's online magazine, Science Nation.
In this feature, they examine the breakthroughs and the possibilities for new discoveries about our planet, our universe, and ourselves.
Each week, Science Nation takes a dynamic, entertaining look at the research and the researchers that will change our lives.
The areas that I've been concentrating are in the Transantarctic Mountains, which run along through here, just past the South Pole.
98% of Antarctica is covered with ice. Geologist John Googe studies the 2% that's not.
What we're doing is finding places along this part of the Transantarctic Mountains where these glacial deposits are found, and we're sampling those to pick up pieces of rocks that we can hopefully give us some examples of what's further into the ice sheet.
Googe and his colleagues are supported by the U.S. Antarctic Program, which is managed by the National Science Foundation. They study rocks from Antarctica to better understand how this desolate continent has formed and changed over time. Traveling by helicopter, plane, and snowmobile, his team collected samples from a dozen sites spanning more than 1,200 miles of mountainous terrain. Sometimes their destinations had to change because of harsh weather and aircraft availability.
One of the first jobs is to set up shelter. This is at a site called Mount Achernar, which turned out to be reasonably productive.
Googe is back at the University of Minnesota Duluth, processing the samples.
That's about 2,500 pounds of rock material.
They use a scanning electron microscope to study mineral textures and composition.
So there's a whole lot of other history about the rock and therefore the crust of Antarctica that we can learn.
Things like the history of ancient supercontinents.
Some of these glacial deposits we've been finding seem to confirm the idea that Antarctica and North America would have been neighbors at one time.
Googe says the frozen landscape of Antarctica is actually an important place to study the health of the planet, including the impact of global climate change on ice sheet stability.
If we can understand what's happened in the past, we have at least a way or a framework to be able to say what might happen in the future. And then, of course, with respect to climate change, the question is, what extra role do humans play?
Science on ice. For John Googe, this frozen landscape is full of ancient clues just waiting to be interpreted. For Science Nation, I'm Miles O'Brien.
That was another great segment from the National Science Foundation.
It was. There are so many interesting science stories. I'm glad we feature a new episode of Science Nation each week.
I look forward to seeing more.
Now, as we head to break, we have the word of the week.
Each week we highlight an advanced English word so when you use them in a sentence, you can impress even educated speakers.
If you like having an extensive and impressive vocabulary, try learning our word of the week.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the morning show. Earlier this year, we introduced our new segment, Artists Corner. In it, we showcase student artwork from one of our schools. Listen to each young artist as they explain how and why they created their work. See how students assigned the same project have such magnificently different creations. Here are 5th grade students in Miss Saunders' class at Blair Elementary to show us their work and tell us their thoughts on creating it.
Hello. In my 5th grade art classes, we have been studying the elements and principles and applying the principles of design. Now, to do this, it's a little abstract for the students. So we decided to look at the Starry Night or many famous artworks. Look at where things are placed in the composition. And then we decided, wouldn't it be really using problem-solving skills to then make a new composition based on a famous artwork? So here is Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, and then 100 years later, this artwork was created, Burning with Cosmic Rhythm, that did just that, where they copied parts of the composition but made it their own. I challenged my students to look at several famous artworks that I have throughout my art room and pick one that really spoke to them. Maybe it was one they had a great idea to go with. Maybe it was a personal choice they made once they had that idea. And just to have fun with it, be creative, and solve that challenging problem of how am I going to copy this composition and make it my own?
Well, I chose The Whistler's Mother because it just really stood out to me, and I liked the way that it was just plain and I could do anything I wanted to it. And so I changed The Whistler's Mother to a little boy sitting in a chair because he's sick, and it's a nice day out, and someone is knocking at the door if he can play, and he can't, and he's sitting at on a chair, and there's people playing outside instead of a picture. I chose to use a pencil because when I think about people being sick, I think of like dark and gloomy. So I didn't use a lot of color to make it look like it was dark and gloomy and just sad. I redid The Persistence of Memory, and I chose this one because it had a lot of elements and different textures. I made the sleeping face into Winnie the Pooh and the clogs into honey because Winnie the Pooh loves honey. And I made the mountains in the background of the sky into clouds, and the dead tree with a big fluffy tree. I made Winnie the Pooh in color because once you look at the artwork, it's the first thing you see, and I want it to be bold, and I shaded the other stuff in because it's the background and Winnie the Pooh wanted to stand out. I chose my picture, and I made it a dancer because I love to dance, and that's my favorite thing to do, like, ever. I picked the Mona Lisa because I thought that would be one of the easiest ways to make it into a dancer and make it look like it actually was at a concert or something like that. So I made the little faces and put that as the audience. I made her hands cross like the Mona Lisa's. I used dot paint for the audience, and I used crayon markers and colored pencils. Well, I knew from the beginning that I wanted to do a guitar in this project because I play the guitar, and I thought that it would be fun to incorporate that element in an artwork, and I thought that it would be easier to draw a guitar when there's something already lying down. That's why I chose this artwork. I took the girl and I made it a guitar, and I didn't put any strings on it for two reasons. One is that the girl is supposedly has a disease and she's different, and a guitar with no strings is different, and I can't really draw the strings on it that well. I made where the grass changes from a darker color to a lighter color music. I changed the houses to chord charts and sheet music, and the patches of red grass on the poster I changed to guitar picks. Well, I used colored pencil and marker. I outlined it in marker to bring out the color, and I chose the colors because I feel like, well, the picks were the colors of my own picks that I have, and the guitar is resembling my guitar.
I chose it because I like cats and nature, and I changed the tiger into this cat, and I changed some of the trees in the background to a house, and like some of these plants here. I used colored pencils and Sharpie. I chose these colors because in the picture there were a lot of greens and browns and oranges and reds, and so I decided to put them in my painting.
I chose Going Home because I thought it would be cool to do Hotel Transylvania and replace this lady with Dracula from Hotel Transylvania. And instead of the house, I did the hotel, and instead of clouds, I did the moon and the bat because his daughter is half bat. So, and then right here in the foreground, there's a lot of texture. And in the foreground in this picture, you can see there's different colored pieces of grass, and that's what I chose to do there. I used marker for Dracula's cape because it kind of has like a shiny color, like once it dries you kind of have a shiny color, and same with his hair because his hair, Dracula's hair, like sleeks back. And for the grass I chose crayon because when you color over the texture it catches the texture. And I did that same for the rocks and then the roof. And I just did colored pencil for the hotel because it's lighter and it doesn't have the big marks that the crayon has.
I did Christina's world, but in a zombie apocalypse, and the of her body, I put zombies on there. Okay, there's houses in the background along with the fence, and so I did that like with a fence like up so the zombies won't reach it. And there's a little house back there, and this is like a boarded up house where people are, and like they're saying hide because they see the zombies coming. And like in the background, I did the man in the moon. For the sky, I did black, and for the zombies, I did light green and black and red to see the biting on them. in that. And for this guy, he just got eaten by these zombies. And for the grass, I did dark green, and this is light. For the houses, I did brown. The chimney is red, and along with the boards.
That was some great artwork. Thank you, Miss Saunders and her class of young artists for sharing that with us.
Yes, it was neat to see how each student individualized their work.
All right, it's time now for this week's lunch menu. This is the menu for Monday, March 28th through Monday, April 4th.
On Monday, March 28th, how will you ever decide between chicken nuggets with rice and gravy, a fish fillet sandwich, or a hot dog with chili? Also, take pleasure in macaroni salad, sweet potato waffle fries, and diced pears.
Then, on Tuesday, March the 29th, enjoy a flavor-packed meal of chicken and waffles, Salisbury steak with a biscuit, or buffalo chicken pizza. Also, add bread skin mashed potatoes with gravy, California vegetables, and fresh fruit to your meal.
On Wednesday, March 30th, refuel your body and soul with chicken and cheese soup with crackers and a roll, corn dog nuggets, or a bacon cheeseburger. On the side, you may add several appetizing items of glazed carrots and spiced apples.
On Thursday, March 31st, enjoy beefaroni with breadstick, a chicken fajita with Spanish rice, or a chicken fillet sandwich. Also enjoy the wonderful side items of Great Northern beans, veggie sticks, and fresh fruit.
Then, on Friday, April 1st, satisfy your need to feed with popcorn chicken with a roll, meatball hoagie, or a pork chop sandwich. Side items include macaroni and cheese, broccoli with cheese, and applesauce.
Finally, on Monday, April 4th, your tummy will yell yummy with entrees of a chicken parmesan sandwich, beef taco with Spanish rice, or French bread pizza. While you're in the lunch line, don't forget to add a barbecue pinto beans and a frozen fruit cup.
And there you have the lunch menu for the week. In addition to those items, milk, a garden salad, French bread pizza, and a peanut butter and jelly combo will be available daily.
Bell Ringers is our next segment this morning, and it's from the C-SPAN classroom. This series features a biography of each of our country's presidents. Beginning with our first show of the school year, we started with our first president, George Washington. Each week, we feature the next president until we've covered them all and bring the series to a close this summer. Enjoy learning about the people who have led our country in this riveting series. Here's this week's episode of Bell Ringers.
He was Mr. Nice Guy, a people person, fond of children and dogs.
I love to meet people. It's the most pleasant thing I do, and is really the only fun I have.
But some might say Warren Harding liked people too much. His good-natured trust in others spelled scandal when the public discovered that members of his administration were trying to get rich behind his back. He was also a reputed womanizer who reportedly engaged in at least 2 extramarital affairs, one of which may have resulted in the birth of a daughter. Harding liked to poke fun at his affable nature, once recounting in public the following words of his father, George.
Warren, it's a good thing you wasn't born a gal, because you'd be in the family way all the time. You can't say no.
Harding grew up in Ohio, where he was born 7 months after Lincoln was shot in 1865. While still a teenager, he joined 2 friends in purchasing a struggling local newspaper he'd later call the Marion Star. The venture was a success, and Harding soon gained full ownership. When he was 25, he married 30-year-old Florence Kling de Wolfe, a divorced mother who later joined her new husband in building his newspaper enterprise. She also supported his fledgling political ambitions. Harding made a failed bid for county auditor in 1892, but 6 years later won a seat in the Ohio State Senate, serving 2 terms before becoming the state's lieutenant governor. Along the way, his good looks and easy manner captured the attention of a well-connected political advisor named Harry Doherty, who later helped Harding win a Senate seat in 1914 and the Republican nomination for president in 1920. Harding and running mate Calvin Coolidge went on to win the White House with an unprecedented majority of the popular vote. The rapid ascent of his political career bemused Harding, who once in office was quick to admit his limitations.
I don't know what to do or where to turn. Somewhere there must be a book that tells all about it. My God, but this is a hell of a place for a man like me to be in.
The public forgave Harding his shortcomings, and while in the White House, he and his wife were tremendously popular. Mrs. Harding threw lavish lawn parties and shared her husband's affinity for meeting people, once shaking almost 7,000 hands in a single afternoon. Harding enjoyed his time in office as well. As president, he played golf, watched baseball, and hosted twice-weekly poker games with a group of office holders he dubbed his poker cabinet. Additional pastimes, though, allegedly included stepping out with other women. After his death, reputed mistress Nan Britton scandalized the nation with a tell-all bestseller alleging that the former president had fathered her child. But Harding also brought a measure of honor to the office. He traveled to Alabama in 1921, becoming the first president to advocate civil rights for blacks on Southern soil. He also established the Budget Bureau, convened international arms talks, and pardoned labor leader and wartime protester Eugene Debs. His efforts were ultimately overshadowed, however, by the activities of certain appointees in his administration who were secretly engaging in graft and fraud without his knowledge. Their actions resulted in a series of scandals that unfolded after his presidency, the most notorious involving the nation's oil reserves in Teapot Dome, Wyoming. Rumors of such shady White House dealings had just begun to surface when Harding and his wife left Washington for a cross-country tour in June of his second summer as president. During the trip, Harding's health began to fail, and while in San Francisco, the president suffered from what is believed to have been congestive heart failure. He died August 2, 1923, sometime after listening to his wife read him an adulatory magazine article on his presidency. His reported last words were, "That's good. Go on, read some more." He was 57.
When the light of life goes out, there's a new radiance in eternity. Somehow the glow of it relieves the darkness which is left behind.
As we head into a break, we continue our focus on our wonderful country with a fun series of bumpers.
The United States has a rich, interesting history and a unique system of government. Knowing about our country is a very important part of being a good citizen.
Take our quick civics quiz and see what you know, or perhaps it will help you learn more about U.S. history and government.
Indiana's Booth Tarkington looked at life in a different way. Tarkington's Willie Baxter is amusing as he woos Lola Pratt in 17. In his more serious works, The Turmoil and The Magnificent Ambersons, Tarkington showed the effect of industrial growth on residents of quiet, pleasant cities. This background in literature has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools.
Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Maggie Caudle.
And I'm Trevor Kerrigan.
It is time for NC Happenings. Everyone should get out their pen and paper as we take a trip across the state and look at all the events taking place in the coming month.
Whether you're looking for adventure or relaxation, mountains or beaches, the rhythm of city life or the tranquility of nature, there is something happening for everyone here in North Carolina.
Date, Friday, April 1st, place, Asheville, event, Downtown Art Walk. Description, the Downtown Asheville Art District invites you to visit more than 20 galleries that contribute to Asheville's reputation as a vibrant arts community and the Paris of the South. Within a half-mile radius, you'll find unparalleled diversity from fine studio crafts, photography, folk art, contemporary painting, metalwork, textiles, jewelry, and more by local, regional, national, and international artists. Admission is free and the event runs from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. For more information, visit AshevilleDowntownGalleries.org.
Date, April 7th through the 10th. Place, Charlotte. Event, Auto Fair. The world's largest automotive extravaganza returns to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This event brings together thousands of automobiles along with collector car auditions, 10,000 vendor spaces, a kids' play zone, fun fair food, and more. There's something for every member of the family to enjoy. General admission is $11 a day. Kids 13 and under are free. Purchase a 4-day weekend pass for just $32. For more information on the auto fair, you can visit their website at charlottemotorspeedway.com.
Date, April 8th to 10th. Place, Wilmington. Event, Azalea Festival Street Fair. Description: the North Carolina Azalea Festival Street Fair is a free family event with over 330 arts and craft vendors, 40 food vendors, 4 stages, a children's area, and a whole lot of fun. The street fair is located in downtown Wilmington. The fun starts on Friday night with the Riverfront Park stage, entertaining the crowds and food vendors filling the air with scrumptious smells. Admission is free and details can be found at ncazaleafestival.org.
Date, April 16th. Place, Goldsboro. Event, Extreme Warrior 7K Mud Run and Kids Run. Get a little dirty at the 4th Annual Extreme Warrior 7K Mud Run and Junior Warrior Kids Run. This obstacle course will have wicked challenges and lots of mud pits that are sure to be difficult but rewarding. The event will be followed by a barbecue festival with discount tickets for all participants and spectators. Awards and ceremonies will be held as well. Adult individual prices are $65, ages 4 through 7 are $35, and ages 8 through 15 are $45. Visit mudrunfun.com for more information.
Date, April 23rd to 28th. Place, Raleigh. Event, Shakespeare Marathon. Burning Coal Theater Company and the NC Museum of History present a round-the-clock reading of all 38 plays by William Shakespeare in 5 days. Honoring the 400th anniversary of the playwright's death, 38 theatrical groups from across North Carolina will perform the stage readings with minimal props and costumes. The marathon begins Saturday, April 23rd at noon and runs until Thursday, April 28th at 6 a.m. Admission is free, but donations are accepted. For a complete schedule, visit the website ncmuseumofhistory.org.
If these events weren't enough for you, or you're looking for something different to do, then check out the website www.visitnc.com. Under the Upcoming Events tab, you'll be able to sort and search for something that suits your need.
It's time for more Your School News, so let's send it back over to our news anchor, Corey Dembo.
Thank you, Trevor and Maggie, and welcome everyone to Your School News here on The Morning Show. Carolina Beach Elementary recently had the Azalea Festival Children's Art Contest Award Ceremony in their Media Center. They received the hosting honor when one of their students won the contest. YSN reporter Kathy Kale was on hand and has all the details.
It was a festive day at Carolina Beach Elementary when the Azalea Festival Children's Art Contest Committee arrived to hold their annual award ceremony. Community members, parents, administrators, and award winners from across the county were all on hand to celebrate and honor 2 amazing students. The art contest is a wonderful event that allows elementary and middle school students to become a part of the Azalea Festival while nourishing their creativity. This year, the elementary division of the art contest boasted 804 entries, with first place winner going to Carolina Beach's own Alejandra Torres, a 4th grader in Miss Connor's art class. She was honored and received several gifts for her work titled Southern Girls.
I heard a bunch of people talking about it. I was like, I didn't know they had that. And after that, I was like, I want to be in this. So then we started working on it and stuff, and then we went to enter it.
There were 92 entries in the middle school division, and taking first place was Audrey Mace, a 7th grade student in Miss Cap's class at Roland Grice. She was also honored and received several gifts for her work titled In Bloom.
Well, I really like the Azalea Festival and I like the flowers and stuff. And then I know a big important part of it is the bells and stuff. And I kind of noticed how they try to work in similarities between the bells and the flowers. So I drew that.
All of the Azalea Festival Children's Art Contest winners' work, as well as other top finishers' work, will be on display in an art exhibit at the Community Arts Building located on the corner of 2nd and Orange Street. Reporting for Your School News, this is Kathy Kale.
Role models are highly important elements in the life of today's teens. They look to their role models for inspiration and use their life choices as a blueprint for how they should behave. As part of Hoggart's CTE Friday Focus, the school welcomed 2 guest speakers, Chris Ledbetter, an African-American young adult fiction author, and Pastor Jermaine Amor from St. Luke AME Zion. Both men talked about their lives and how they struggled to achieve their own goals. They talked about their own role models and how important it was for them to have good role models as teens and adults for them to imitate. Both men told the students that choosing a role model for themselves is important and that role models should have good morals and don't indulge in destructive behavior. A good role model should be someone hardworking, creative, free-thinking, and moral. Both men answered questions about their own life choices, career decisions, and hope for today's youth. Students at Ogden Elementary got a chance to draw their own superheroes, dance, and learn about folk music at the school's annual Art Week. The 5-day event featured a host of diverse and exciting art disciplines and challenged the students and brought out their most creative nature. We get this full report on the event from YSN reporter Stephen Thornton.
The Arts Education Week at Ogden offered the students a wide variety of art disciplines designed to heighten the students' awareness of the importance of arts in their lives and introduce them to a new host of art styles. The week kicked off with comic book artist Tom Fleming. He showed students how comic books and graphic heroes are created and inspired the students to create their own comic book heroes. The influence of Dr. Seuss was featured during Arts Week as a gifted storyteller who came to share not only stories of the beloved author, but shared with the students the history and secrets of the great storytellers. The amazing world of contemporary dance had the students moving and shaking as talented teams of dancers showed a variety of dance styles. Ogden students discovered the moves and methods behind dance styles developed during the mid-20th century that have grown to become some of the dominant genres for formerly trained actors throughout the world. They even got a chance to perform a few moves themselves.
We really hope that they realize that dance is for everybody. It's not just for girls wandering around in tutus. We have tons of boys that dance at our dance studio, so we tried to make sure we brought our boy dancers today, and that hip-hop, that anyone can do it. It's so much fun, it's great exercise, and it's a great way to exercise.
The sounds of a big band took the stage at Ogden as the Laney High School band came to entertain and educate. Band director Robert Pearson and his students taught the Ogden Stingrays about the different instruments in the band, their role in making music, and how each instrument can create different sounds.
See how that works? 2 fingers is an A. Your recorder's pitch to concert pitch. These, because of the sizes, are just in different keys, but it's still the same fingering system.
The week wrapped up with students learning about folk music. Guest artist Charles Petty played a number of popular numbers on the guitar and harmonica. He explained to the students the history of folk music and demonstrated both traditional music and the genre that evolved from it during the 20th century folk revival. Ogden's Art Week acted as a great thinking agent for the students. It allowed them to draw ideas and to really think about what was going on around them, both musical and visually. Reporting for Your School News, this is Stephen Thornton.
That's all for now. To watch this week's edition of Your School News online, visit the school system's website at www.nhcs.net and click on the NHCS TV logo on the homepage. Now back over to Trevor and Maggie.
Thanks, Corey. Now to end today's show, we will play a challenging trivia game that will get those brain juices flowing.
I see we have the buzzers out, so we're in for a real challenge.
We are. Let's send it back over to Corey, who has all the details. Welcome back, Corey.
Thank you. Today we have a morning show trivia challenge. I will ask a spring-related trivia question. If you think you know the answer, you must buzz. The first person to buzz gets to answer. If you blurt out an answer without buzzing or winning the buzz, it will not count. Also, if you buzz before I finish asking a question, you will have to answer it then. I will not read the rest. Finally, if you are both stumped on one, I will give the answer and we will move on. There are 15 questions. Okay, contestants, are you ready? Here we go. Which imagery is most associated with the spring season? A, blazing sun, B, snow, C, foliage, D, blossoms, or E, none of these?
D.
Correct.
That question went way over my head.
All right, here's the second question. The first day of spring is technically called A, Springer solstice, B, spring equinox, C, Easter, or D, none of the above?
D. Spring equinox.
Correct. 3. Spring months are vary according to climate and geographic location. In North America, spring season starts in which calendar month? A, January, B, March, C, May, D, July, or E, September?
March.
Correct. Next question.
I hope I got that right.
In many cultures, spring symbolizes A, rebirth, B, life, C, death, D, love, or E, all of these?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say all of the above.
That is incorrect. Maggie?
Okay. I'm trying to decide between two. A, rebirth. A was rebirth.
Correct.
Okay.
Get that point. Get
Some
that
of the other
point.
ones could work too.
All right, number 5. Spring is the season of flowers. The Japanese celebrate the arrival of spring by hosting mass viewings of which flower? A, peach blossoms, B, tulips, C, sunflowers, D, carnations, or E, cherry blossoms?
Cherry blossom.
Correct. All right.
We're both waiting for that one.
I know. I just wanted to make sure it was an answer.
Number 6. According to folk legends, certain groundhogs can predict whether or not spring will arrive early in that year. How do they make their predictions? A, looking for their shadows, B, judge the thickness of the snow, C, find a mate, or D, let out a squeal?
A, looking for their shadows.
Good job. Points for Maggie. All right, number 7. In the U.S., schools allow their students to take a short break or vacation from spring. What is the typical length of spring break? A, 3 days, B, 1 week, C, 2 weeks, or D, 1 month?
1 week.
Correct.
It should be a month.
That's what ours is.
Number 8. The start of spring coincides with the postseason of which U.S. organized sport? A, American football, B, baseball, C, basketball, D, college football, or E, college basketball?
Baseball.
Incorrect. Is that even up here?
I guess college basketball, because like
Basketball?
March Madness.
You said college basketball, right?
College basketball, yeah.
All right, that's correct. 9. The term equinox is defined as A, when the sun is furthest from the equator, B, when day and night are equal in length, or C, when Earth's 2 poles meet.
I'm going to say B.
That's correct. Number 10. Which playful bird is often seen as symbolizing the arrival of the spring season? A, cuckoo, I don't know what that says. Cuckoo, I guess it says. B, jaybird, C, robin, or D, swallow? I don't know what that means.
All right, you got this one?
I didn't hear the second one.
B, jaybird, C, robin, D, swallow, or A, cuckoo?
The robin.
Incorrect.
The jaybird?
Incorrect. The correct answer is D, swallow.
Oh.
I don't know what that means, but we're going to keep it going.
I thought robin because robin's eggs, candy.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Easter time.
That's what
All
I
right,
would
true
guess.
or false? On the seasonal calendar, spring immediately precedes autumn? This is true or false?
This is false.
Correct.
That hurt my brain for a second.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
12. Which holiday does not occur during spring? A, Mother's Day, B, St. Patrick's Day, C, Father's Day, or D, Easter?
See, Father's Day?
Incorrect.
I'm going to say A because that's the only one I didn't hear.
Mother's Day.
Incorrect. The correct answer is B, St. Patrick's Day. Number 13. Is spring considered the first, second, third, or fourth season of the year?
Second.
Incorrect.
First.
Correct. Get that point, Maggie.
Okay. If you want to get technical with it, okay.
14. True or false? Children grow faster in the spring. I don't know about
They
that.
go faster.
What?
What?
Children grow faster in the
They
spring.
grow faster. That's
Yes.
Correct. All right now. 15. In the Persian calendar, the first day of spring or New Year Day is called A, Bedar, B, Nowruz, C, Ashura, or D, Khordad.
Yes.
B.
How do you know that? That's great.
I have no idea. I just guessed.
You're a genius, I swear. All right. And the winner, okay, let's go. All right, and that's all the questions. And our morning show spring trivia challenge winner is Maggie. Congratulations.
Good game, Trevor.
Yes. Good game, Maggie.
Well, that does it for this edition of The Morning Show.
For all the best TV of all, each and every day, keep it tuned right here for the New Hanover County Schools TV on the Learning Network of the Cape Fear.
Have a great day.
And a wonderful week.